Hey everyone, John here, senior software engineer with 10 plus years of experience. I need to start saying staff software engineer because I just got a new job, but I'm not used to saying that. I'm the lead maintainer of Latterly.io, which is an open source educational platform that will help you land your first or next programming role. Okay, you can sign up for free, get access to 24/7 chatbot, get access to this standard checklist, all right? And it's totally open source. If you're a thought leader and you want to come by and submit a pull request to improve things, plenty of stuff to work on. Okay, Supabase Hack Week is this week. Sorry, Launch Week. Supabase Launch Week is this week. And they have rolled out Postgres.new, which is just an absolute cheat code. It's absolutely cracked. And so in this stream, 10 to 20 minutes, I'm going to be using it because with Latterly, I have recently open sourced my recent job search data. So I was laid off at the end of May, and I successfully obtained a staff role, which was a promotion for me. And I did this in under 3 months. I had gotten job offers within a single month, but better and better offers. We don't just take the first offer that comes, do we? And so under Latterly 3, scripts analytical, you can now see my censored job search data. So there's no like personal information here for, there's no personal information in here, but there are the job posts, the companies, and some other stuff like which version of my resume did I use? So I used a number of versions of the resume. Was this referred or not? What time? Did I contact the engineering manager by email? Lots of other stuff. These various statuses. Did I obtain an offer or not? So we want to do an exploratory data analysis. That's going to be the setup for today's stream using Postgres.new. Let me give you 2 minutes from the Supabase video about what Postgres.new is. I'll give you these 2 minutes and then we'll dive into using it. Okay, I guess that's about all we needed actually. All right, so it's basically Supabase unlimited Postgres instances in your browser combined with ChatGPT. And so we can use it for an exploratory data analysis. Sign in with GitHub, here we go. I'm doing this for the first time along with you. What would you like to create? Let's perform an exploratory data analysis on the attached file. Generate a pie graph. Let's see, I'll hold that off. I have a graph that it can make in mind, but let's see what it comes up with on its own. So I'll go to my workspace, grab Latterly, scripts, analytical. Here's the CSV. Okay, and here it says working on it without prompt. So it automatically parses this schema without prompt. I guess that's good. It gives the first few rows, okay? Kind of like a stats model summary or something might. I noticed that it's parsing these all as text, which is appropriate. That's appropriate. Would you like to perform any specific analysis or generate any reports on this data? Draw a pie graph of the status values. Cool. Can I hover? All right, I can hover right in the browser. That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, rejected about half the time. And then these are basically interviews, more or less, and offers. What is this? Resurrected. There was one case where it got resurrected. Resurrected is like I closed it out and then they came back later and were like, hey, just kidding. Like, we want to make you an offer. That was really weird. Timed out, withdrawn. Yeah, I withdrew a few times for various reasons. Timed out 15. So a lot of these applied basically are timed out. Like I didn't get a response. Some people would call this ghosted. I don't think that's fair. A lot of the companies will give you an email which says we will reach out if you're a fit. And so I think the proper way to handle these, you can do follow up, sure. But if you don't hear back, presume that you're passed on. And so time box it. And so that's what timed out is. And I was just frankly lazy about altering the status of applied to timed out. But basically, these are all no response. Cool. And then these are ones where I did basically like an interview or something. Cool. What to do next? Draw a line graph of applications over time. I believe I front loaded a lot of the applications and I slowed down pretty significantly. Yeah. Cool. Let's see, what else? Create a regression that explains the offered status. I think it's offered. Is it offered or offer? Yeah, it's offered ed. There's the Rainbow CSV plugin for VS Code. Highly recommend that. So it's going to encode all of those variables. By the way, I already have a regression that I like. And I blogged it on cover letters and resume tailoring. Basically, I showed that the version of the resume had an insignificant association with outcome. And so here's the OLS. And this one explains attained interview. Rather than offered, explaining offer, this explains attaining an interview. So I'll come back and try to replicate this and add some more columns and some more input features momentarily. It is just cooking. Cool. It seems to be able to execute multiple steps like an autonomous agent. It's able to execute multiple steps in a row instead of requiring me to go in and ask it to do the next thing, which I believe I would need to do in a GPT-4. So I guess it's running this SQL in the browser. Did it finally pause? Mobile support coming soon. Oh, okay. Did I interrupt it? Here I could just create a new database. I'm looking forward to the future where I can sort of take this UI and like push the schema or pull the schema from prod or push it, like interact with my Prisma basically. Okay, let me just say continue. Looks like it came to some sort of pausing point. Thanks for sharing the live. Let me know, chat, if you have something that I should do here. I'm tempted to refresh the page. I wonder if trying to use the dev inspect threw something off when it switched it over to mobile mode. All right, so I'm refreshing the page. It has remembered this chat. Execute the plan now. Let's see if this helps at all. It flashed something as if it were processed, but it doesn't seem to be doing the thing. Oh, bummer. Is this trash? It had so much potential. Is Postgres.new actually trash? Let's go back to pictures. Draw a pie chart of company. Wow, what a bummer. So somehow this isn't working. Okay, anything else that I want to do? I am curious now to try the sort of like ordinary ChatGPT just for comparison and get those extra input features and see how that alters the regression that I did previously. We're going to scripts, analytical. Here's the CSV data. And see here, it doesn't automatically respond to the CSV. I need to prompt it. And so here I will give it this script. Consider the script below and update it to utilize more input features from the attached CSV. Now interactive. Okay, interesting. I wonder what now interactive means. This is a new sort of widget here. Loving this. Expand table. And see, it's going into this code mode. So it looks like good old direct ChatGPT with GPT 4.0 is working better than Postgres.new. It looks like that's the result of today's analysis. When is the strawberry announcement today? I'm not sure. Is that, what does strawberry mean? Is that some sort of like a meaning that I'm not understanding? Thanks for being here. Okay, so it's chained itself a few times, catching various errors. I guess there was a parsing error. The next iteration of OpenAI with better reasoning. Ooh, interesting. OpenAI Strawberry. What a cute name. OpenAI could be about to drop Project Strawberry in huge ChatGPT upgrade. What a suspenseful title. Okay. Wow. I guess I'll need to do a stream on this one as well. About to drop it this week. So I don't know. There is the rumored answer according to Tom's guide. No idea how true that is. It's still having issues? Bummer. So I made significant progress. Here's a summary. However, the execution encountered an issue because the code session timed out before completing the analysis. Oh, okay. Code session timed out. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Interesting. There's no way this is the entire script. Print the entire script. Good. Okay, this looks good. I can run it locally, but I'll also ask it to try and run it one more time. 4.0 was replaced a week or so back with a differently trained version. Sometimes better, sometimes not. Let's see. I'm using 4.0 here. So I'm still using 4.0. And so here, Command A, Command V, Command S. I'm not going to push this up to main, but it will allow us to run it locally. So I cd to the analytical folder. I'm going to source venv bin activate. Okay. Now I can Python -- version and it obtains. And so now I can run my blog script. Cool. The virtual environment stuff is explained in the README local to the analytical folder. This is kind of like a data analysis thing, so feel free to check that out. Cool, we got it to run. Oh, it did successfully run when I tried it one more time. So 42.4 R squared. Might be overfit, we'll see, but that's better than the published model. So the published model is a 352 R squared. I really like the adjusted R squared. So I want to see this number come up relative to 326. I want to see it over 3.4, and it is. Here it is at 3.8. 3.8 on my local, aligning with the analysis here. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm getting the same thing on my local relative to ChatGPT, it seems. Let's look at the constant and ISLO effort. So I have 153 and 005 negative. So locally I have 153 and 005 negative. Yeah. So basically ChatGPT and I are running the same calculation. And it looks like this. And then what about the information criteria? 92 relative to the, I don't know that I published the AIC. Okay. F statistic, are we lower? 1379 on the F statistic. So the F statistic is indicates less model power. So we probably got a couple useless variables in here, basically. Let's look at the p-values. Yeah, ISLO effort doesn't seem to matter much, but we have a theoretical reason to think that low effort applications should be negative. So it's in the expected direction. So I think this just indicates a lack of samples. You know, in my spreadsheet, I have like 140 records, which is good enough to get some signal. But if you had thousands, tens of thousands of records, you would get much better signal. So I plan to extend laterally to include these job search record keeping in the platform itself. So stay tuned for that upcoming feature to laterally. What else can we see here? So yeah, basically some of the coefficients are sort of underpowered. So resume version doesn't seem to matter. We can drop that. That would raise the adjusted R squared for sure. What does matter? What does matter is referrals. Hello. And whether it's inbound is the single most important factor, is it? So whether an opportunity is inbound is the single most important factor. How do I generate inbound job opportunities? LinkedIn optimization and social networking and creating content. So I think the majority, about half and or the majority of my job opportunities were inbound. Absolutely huge lesson learned that I think is underappreciated by most software engineers on the job market. If you are on the job market, you should treat the job search as your job. And part of your job on the job market is content creation and social engagement and social networking. Not really a surprising lesson, but one that is still kind of like, it's like a boring basic and it gets overlooked. It's a classic thing that people have been saying for a long time. Contact role, I don't like to have it interpreted as an integer. I want to see which role is most meaningful. Cool, so we'll use the one hot encoding. And this will be the last bit, so we'll see which role is most important in obtaining an interview. Laterally recommends that you reach out to recruiters, hiring managers, and fellow software engineers. In a rare case, in my recent job search, I reached out to someone with a different title. Might have been, CTO in one case, or a VP, or head of something. So we will see. I guess I should have pinned this onto the existing code. Pandas datacast. Okay, let's see. I did something bad here. So this raised the R squared. Let's see what the results are here in this. I wish I had the ability to sort of make this modal bigger. Shout out to OpenAI. How's the job market now, brother? I think it's moving sideways. So I think it's stable. Let's see. I don't know that anyone has good weekly data on this, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, so you can just come check Indeed and say software engineer. There are enough jobs to get you a job. So look, 16,000, this looks sideways. This looks similar to other numbers in the past couple of months. So it's not really getting worse. It's not really getting better, at least at this top line sort of aggregate level. If you look into particular companies, they're changing things, of course, for a variety of reasons. But there's more than enough jobs out there for you to get a job. So if you're having any trouble, let me know. So I think the F statistic should have gotten larger here. No, it got smaller. It got smaller. Okay, because it split all of these role values and a bunch of them are not meaningful. That's the reason, right? So contact role 2 is not helpful. What is... Let me look up one of these values. So recruiter, right? Engineer. Oh, I think IC. I think I used IC in a bunch of these cases. Skip. Senior product manager, skip. Software engineer. Let's see how helpful the product managers are, eh? So it thinks that it's doing the right thing, but it isn't. All right, I'll give this one last go, which is that I'll just create the feature by hand. I will ask it to look for the substring engineer in the role. I'll directly use the original column before it was converted to numerical. Exactly what I wanted. The categorical form. Oh, it's having more issues. All right, let's do this locally. Okay, so here I want to look at role, get dummies, contact role. So I want to look at contact role as type category, yeah. So can I just ignore the dummies? No, that won't work. That will not work. Write out the full script. Try this one last time. If you think this video is interesting, give the page a follow. The video will be persisted to YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, you can follow YouTube, and you can check out the live videos. Here we've done about 30 minutes, and this will be saved to YouTube. Okay, well, that still didn't work. It will, for the moment, remain a mystery which job title matters most, but the standard recommendation on when you're social networking, what titles to reach out to is available in the Laterally Slides repository under networking scripts. There are 3 key titles. One is technical recruiter. The other is the engineering manager, particularly the hiring manager for the role. And the third would be fellow engineers. I was able to source referrals from all of these job titles, and I think the majority came from fellow engineers. And we know, based on this blog article, that referrals are extremely important, as well as the partial regression we did earlier in this video. We saw that referrals as well as inbound opportunities were incredibly important, and we've simply just replicated that with additional variables. So we don't know like which job title is best, but the standing approach of using all three of these is demonstrated success. Regardless of like which is best, just do all three for now. Okay, thanks for being here. Reviewing the Postgres.new thing, I don't know, it had issues. It got us some cool charts, and then it just like died. So hope they fix that. Maybe we'll give this another try.